Hey everyone, welcome
Yo.
to another episode of Eigenbros.
Yep.
This week, this
We got a little spicy meme today.
This episode, this episode was something else. Yeah, this was kind of a mean episode. If you're a fan of any of these three people, go ahead.
This is not the channel for you.
Go ahead, name them.
So we got Nassim Haramein here. He's the Tommy Wiseau of physics. We've got the guy Christopher Langan, the smartest man in the world, apparently. And then we've also got Terrence Howard. So, ex-war machine from Iron Man. And we talked about how these guys are a little bit out there with their beliefs. So me and Juan did some dissecting of some of their stuff.
Yeah. Air quotes on dissecting part. But yeah, it was kind of a fun ride. I really enjoyed a lot of their perspective. It was unique.
Juan, you're so generous.
At the very least, they're very creative people. And yeah, we had some issues with some of their unfalsifiable claims.
One's so nice about it. I'm just gonna say I fucking wanted to roast these fuckers.
Yeah, and I mean we ended up doing that, but yeah, if you like this kind of piling on, you're in for a ride. This is a fun one. If you don't like them, then if you do like them, then you might want to just skip this episode.
No, still watch it. It's good. But anyway, guys, just make sure to subscribe to our channel.
Yeah.
So like, comment, share, all that good stuff as usual. And then also check us out on Twitter. We're at Eigenbros on Twitter. And then also go to our website. It's eigenbros.com. And then we have the mailing list on there. And you guys can sign up, get instant updates. And stay tuned, guys. We'll see you in a little bit.
See you in a bit. 3, 2, 1, and we're live.
We back.
Yeah, we're back. So today is a very interesting topic presented by Terrence.
Yes, indeed.
So, what have you got for us today, man?
So I had a guy on Twitter send me a little video. Actually, Juan, you got Twitter up?
Yeah,
Let me just shout him out. Well, you can look that up.
Yeah. Who?
Just go to another page of Twitter, maybe.
Yeah.
And
our Twitter, Eigenbros?
Yeah, and just check the messages, the direct messages. He prompted me with a video of a guy who was speaking about something during a TED Talk, and I was like, oh, okay, this guy kind of looks familiar. I think I actually used to watch his videos back, before I was even a physicist. And it all clicked, and I was like, wait a minute. I think this guy is one of these cranky crackpot people. And I couldn't remember, though, if he was or not, because it was before I even knew anything about physics. And it just brought me back to a time when I just didn't know how to filter out anything mathematically or physically, because it's just one of those times where you didn't know enough. Go to the direct messages. Should be in the messages or something up there. Yeah. And
about that time.
Yeah, there you go. So what's his Twitter handle? It's at
Denzelli.
At Denzelli.
At Denzelli3.
Denzelli3. Shout out. So yeah, you could see he sent something in there, and it's none other than I know him as the Tommy Wiseau of physics, Nassim Haramein.
Okay.
So
the name of the video is The Connected Universe.
Yeah. So Nassim Haramein is this guy who is kind of crazy, his pedigree.
Why?
So this dude somehow managed to open a university in Hawaii. And I don't remember the name of it. Maybe it's in my notes, but he opened up a physics university in Hawaii and actually has faculty with PhDs.
Hawaii Institute for Unified Physics?
There it is.
Okay.
So if you look at that pretty mug, that's him right there.
Right.
And if you look at the pages of the people, like the faculty, there's actually legitimate physicists there that have like PhDs, master's degrees, and it's like these, really beautiful girls,
beautiful men.
Yeah.
Everyone's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of sad. It's like to be tricked into subscribing to something like that when you have a PhD level of knowledge. I just don't understand.
Why do you think they're okay, bring me into your world. Why do you think they're being tricked?
So we can, of course, watch some of his videos.
Okay.
He's got a Resonance Foundation. It's got real slick production. Like his videos on the Resonance Foundation are really professional quality. Okay. It's the connected universe, and he talks about the flower of life. He's got a few publications, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. They're in Vixia, which is basically, I don't know if you're familiar. Vixia. I think you're familiar with Archive, aren't you?
Yeah, of course.
So I just learned that there's actually an even crazier publication called Vixia. So just for the layman, Archive.
Well, it says Vixra.
Vixra. Thank you.
Okay.
So it's basically Archive backwards. So Archive is basically, for people who don't know, the wild, wild west of publications.
Yeah, so typically Archive is somewhere where physicists or other scientists will go publish their work before anyone else does, so they can just say, I did it first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it means that you don't have to, you have to have like maybe one person corroborate it.
Yet.
Yeah. So it's basically like, if you just come up with an idea that one person can say is decent, then you can get your publication on there. So needless to say, if you go to the general physics section or general math section, it's basically all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
No holds bar. Yeah. So there's an even worse journal than that, or even more lenient journal than that, called Vixra, which is just full crackpot. And Nassim published one of his papers in Vixra. The main one being the Schwarzschild proton. That's kind of the one that I was the most interested in.
Okay.
And Denzeli actually sent me a video which was talking about that one. Mm-hmm. So just to sum it up, what Nassim does is he kind of makes this thing called the Schwarzschild proton.
Okay.
So, of course, it already starts off bad right from the bat. So he gets stuck on Planck lengths. So I don't know about you, Juan, but when I was a lowly undergraduate and just starting out with physics, I loved Planck. Length.
Planck everything.
Planck length, Planck time. It's one of these things you go through when you're a very beginner.
Yeah.
When you don't understand anything. So Planck length, they say, is like the smallest unit of measurement. But to a person who doesn't know physics or who knows very little physics, it's not actually saying that the smallest unit of length possible is a Planck length. It's actually saying that the smallest unit of length where quantum physics breaks down is the Planck length. And it's actually derived from the Schwarzschild metric or something, from general relativity. You plug in some value and you get the Planck length that comes out. So it's saying that quantum mechanics breaks down and becomes something that's not really useful to talk about at the Planck length scale. But of course, Nassim interprets it as I interpret it when I was, an undergraduate, as it's the smallest length possible. So it's like saying almost that space-time is quantized, which is a claim that, you can't make because, that would be a huge thing if you could say that. You'd have to have some theory backing that. No one knows if space-time is quantized. But if you're saying that there's a smallest length, that means you're basically saying space is quantized. And of course, what he does is he takes a bunch of Planck lengths and sticks them into a proton, and then sees like the volume or something of a proton and gets some numbers out. And then he starts making wild comparisons between the Planck length and then, galaxy clusters and things, and saying how the numbers are related somehow. He just goes off, in Woo land and kind of runs away with it. And basically that's his big claim to fame, I think.
Yeah.
I also saw him a long time ago. A buddy of mine, he wanted to show me this great video of all this great science, and it's called Thrive. So people who are kind of into this nutty stuff probably know Thrive. It's like the Nutters big video, and Thrive basically has a bunch of crazy guys on there that talk about all their technologies and how the government's covering up these technologies. And Nassim Haramein's one of the big guys on there talking about some nonsense that I don't understand.
Okay.
But anyway, basically, we could take a look at some of Nassim's repertoire. So why don't you cue up one of the Nassim videos?
Okay. Nassim Haramein on the pattern known as the flower of life.
Okay.
There's that one. There's the connected universe.
Let's do the pattern of life, because that's a short one, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I got you.
That's from his Resonance Foundation.
As I was calculating the packing of the Plancks inside the volume of the proton and then on the surface of the proton, and I started to try to imagine how the little Planck spheres would be tiled, I realized they would pack in such a way that they would have to be space-filling. And space-filling spheres makes up this symbol that we see in ancient civilization called a flower of life. And this flower of life symbol can be extrapolated from a tetrahedron array that I had heuristically from pure logic and observation of nature extrapolated to be the fundamental principle or the fundamental geometry of the structure of space-time, the structure of the vacuum, and that structure is in perfect equilibrium, so that the vacuum energy appears to us as nothing because it's everywhere, and wherever it's in equilibrium, we don't experience it. And so it was remarkable that after all these years, I had actually come to extrapolate the mathematics to get the proper answer for gravity and the mass of the proton and the radius of the proton and the gravitational coupling constant directly out of this metric.
Okay, there's only a couple more minutes to go, but I already feel like stopping.
Needless to say, it's just word salad. So he uses some terms in there. Yeah, that makes sense, but...
Okay, first of all, this is why PhD programs have exams because of guys like this. Fuck. Yeah.
He's not a PhD, though.
Oh, he's not?
No.
Okay.
He somehow has tricked PhDs into working for him, though, which I don't get. Why don't you go back to that Hawaii Institute? Read some of those names of the PhDs, because I looked into the background of some of them. There's a really attractive girl in there. I looked at her background, and she has a legitimate background. Like, she's got a French institute and everything, and I looked at the people who she was working with, and they've got video lectures online. I'm like, how did she get sucked into this?
Oh, yeah.
It must have been that long flowing Nassim Haramein hair.
Must have been the mysticism, man. Yeah, there's quite a couple.
What's some of the names?
There's one student where she completed her Masters of Science in Astrophysics from University College in London. She holds a PhD in astrophysics from... This might be a little bit strange. I've never heard of this university. The Open University. That's already kind of
that's a red flag.
Yeah.
I didn't check her out.
That's one. That's just one.
Okay.
There's another student, William Brown. He's a medical science or master's, I guess. Studied at NYU's Medical Center.
That's legitimate.
Yeah, went to Northern Arizona University.
That's legitimate as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a master's in that. So there's a gentleman here, Olivier Alirol. He's he works for a French government-funded research organization. He he graduated from ESPCI Paris Tech. I guess I
think that's a legitimate one.
Yeah, he's a master's in scientific measurements at the University of Paris and holds a PhD in nuclear physics from Institut National des Sciences Appliquées. So I don't know what that is. Excuse me.
That's some good French right there.
Man, bro. Yeah. Yeah, man, these people have credentials. These people, there's PhD students that have credentials that have gotten their degrees from presumably, legit universities.
Right.
And
they actually should know real science and physics. If you end up in Nassim Haramein, I keep saying Nassim Reed, in Nassim Haramein's Institute of wherever the fuck it is, Hawaii.
Hey,
I just want to understand.
These people.
I want to understand what happens to your brain there.
Maybe they just want to get the bag, man. Maybe they just want to get the money and go and just.
They're just like, I'm sick of looking for a faculty position, so I'm just going to join this crank university.
Exactly. This is what academia does to you. It just makes you want to take any job you can find. Yeah, maybe, man. Maybe these people are just desperate and want to have a job.
Yeah.
And so they're like, hey, you get to live in Hawaii.
You think?
Maybe. That
is appealing, though, Hawaii, right?
Imagine if some guy like him, Nassim, maybe they're like, I'm going to take this sucker's money. Like, you know what I mean?
So it's like master plan.
Yeah, maybe they're the ones who are tricking him.
I see.
Yeah.
Maybe you're onto something.
I mean, what if he came up to you and paid you, said, hey, I want you to be a part of my university. I'm going to pay you $100,000 a year to go live in Hawaii.
Dude, you make a good point. Because then I'll be like, I don't really have to even do real science. I could just fuck around on Minesweeper all day and get paid $100K by this idiot.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Although I don't know if he's actually paying them, I wonder. Because I'm like, I don't know how he makes money.
Yeah, I would do it for money. Hey, maybe he goes to enough talks to where he makes this money. I don't know.
But anyway. I didn't find any like pictures of the university or anything, so I don't even know if this is just something that's out of his basement, you know. So who knows?
Sorry. Rest in peace, headphone users. But because it says become an affiliate member. Let's see what the application process says.
Give up front $50K.
Yeah. It's a pyramid scheme. You just yeah. It seems kind of, so, but I don't think there's like an actual campus, funny enough. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll give a tip I want to give a tip for people who are trying to suss out cranky physics stuff. Mm-hmm. If you have a bunch of comments in the comment section that have the ohm symbol, like the Hindu ohm symbol, I'll put it on the YouTube. I'll put it on the video.
Yeah.
That's a really bad sign.
Gotcha. Good to know.
So when a lot of people have the ohm symbol in their comment username, that's a bad sign.
Yeah. I mean, let's look but here's the real question: do they actually publish in big journals?
Who the people?
His university. Let's see.
I don't think so because he doesn't. But the thing is, some of the people who I've looked up, I looked up their advisors' publications, and they're in legitimate journals. Mm-hmm. So, like some of those people who work for him, they have people who have published in real journals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of these journals seem a little bit kind of like. I've never heard of these journals. Journal of High Energy Physics, Gravitation, and Cosmology. Could be legit. Could not be. Journal of Neuroquantology. Nice.
I don't know about
that. Okay. All right. You know what? I'm not going to roast these people. Maybe they think they're doing good work. Who knows?
I really want to go to the bottom of that sometime, though. Like, really dig deep and see what is happening there.
Yeah. So
we need somebody in Hawaii to like investigate this place.
Yeah.
And see
if you're in Hawaii, let us know.
Yeah. Reach out.
Reach out to us. We'll get in contact.
We have no money though, so we can't pay you anything to do anything.
Can't, but
it's all out of the goodness of your heart.
You'll do some investigative work.
Yeah.
But so far. So Nassim, he's like he has a huge following, is what you're saying.
He's got too big of a following, more than he should.
And you're saying he's one of these people that lead kind of the crank sort of physics.
He's one of these forerunners within the crankology community.
Okay.
And he's got some high production value videos and things. Like if you saw the Flower Life video, was like great lighting, good camera, really nice framed, his depth of field was all professional. Yeah. And like his Resonance Foundation is really nice too. If you look at those videos, they're very quality. So money's going into something.
Yeah, he has this
he has money somehow.
And he has this TEDx talk at UC San Diego.
Yeah. Now is that time stamped?
No.
Okay, so maybe we can't go through it. Mm-hmm. So I had that one there. He was talking a little bit about the Schwarzschild proton once again.
Okay, here we go. I found it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's see if we can stumble upon it. Here we go.
So if you calculate that, you find that you can put a lot of little Plancks in there, so the result is 10 to the 93 grams per centimeter cube. That's a huge number, 10 with 93 zeros. It's big. To give you an idea, if I took all the stars in the universe and I stuck them into a centimeter cube of space, the density of that cube would be 10 to the 55 gram. I would be 39 orders of magnitude still shy of the vacuum density at the quantum level. How incredible is that? Right? And that's the stuff we call space. Right? That we think of it as empty. So if that's true, I mean, it's significant. And certainly many of the greatest scientists in history thought it was. Wheeler, a collaborator to Einstein, for instance, said, no point is more central than this, that empty space is not empty. It's the seat of some of the most violent physics. Of course, you got all that incredible density of energy. Einstein said physical objects are not in space, but these objects are spatially extended, an object being the result of space. In this way, the concept of empty space loses its meaning. So some of the greatest thinkers...
So his argument is that space is not empty, it has energy.
Right.
But I mean, we already know that.
He's obsessed with the vacuum energy.
I see. So is he one of those people that think that the vacuum energy is a source of basically the holy grail or the fountain of youth of 0-point energy?
I think he might be.
Yeah.
I think he might be.
Yeah, because that's the thing that a lot of crank people sort of pull from.
100%. The crank physics people love 0-point energy.
Yes. And for those people wondering, 0-point energy is basically... Do you want to give me
so it's basically utilizing the energy of the vacuum of space. So they're saying like empty space, imagine empty space. Mm-hmm. There's some energy that is always present within those, with empty space.
Space around us.
Yeah, they're saying that you can use that 0-point energy or the lowest state of energy to create energy at will. So you're basically creating energy from the universe.
Yeah, so you're pulling energy from the sea of ambient energy.
Yeah. Now, I don't know why that is not true, why you can't do that. I'd have to really hash it out why not, but I know there's problems with that. Do you remember, Juan, the specifics of why
you can think
it's
about,
not possible?
Okay, first of all, just looking at the ambient energy around us in terms of space, right? He makes the argument where you pack all of this Planck's, what did he say, Planck length?
Planck density or something. I don't know what the hell he was talking about.
He seems to make, this is just from what I've seen so far.
I think he just found out what what the volume of a Planck length is, and then just packed them into the sphere of a proton or something.
Hey, sometimes, sometimes he might be working off dimensional analysis. He's like, Planck length may have units of,
Well, that's units of meters or
joules meters or something. I don't know.
No, Planck length is a unit for length.
Oh, it's just length.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, fuck. Well, then
all he did was he just did this. He just, of course, took the misappropriated understanding of what a Planck length is, and then he took the density of what a 3x3 length of a Planck would be, and then fit them all into one proton's volume. And then he counted how many Plancks there would be, and then somehow related that to the universe and packing it into a volume. I didn't know what the hell he was saying.
So basically, yeah. So I mean, first of all, my thing is the main point I was going to say was that the cosmic background radiation is the ambient energy of the universe, right? Mm-hmm. And if you do an energy conversion to that, it's pretty low energy. We you know what I mean? Like it's how many?
I don't know.
How many Kelvin are we talking about? We're talking about point.
Oh, you mean KT?
Yeah, but I'm saying like the ambient. If you took the average ambient temperature of the universe.
Oh, temperature.
Yeah, like
It's
in
like
Kelvin.
2 Kelvin or something.
It's something ridiculous.
Almost absolute
right?
zero. Near
It's
it.
pretty close, right? So when you talk about vacuum energy, at least any sort of energy that we can see, we talk about temperature, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for the layman, if you're not familiar, we use temperature. We have a temperature energy conversion for things like this because heat, you can think of that as a form of energy.
Yeah. So to me, this is probably the only real sort of vacuum energy that you can talk about. But what he's trying to say, I guess, is like an energy that's embedded within maybe space-time in a way. But extracting that?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
But I'm just from what I'm seeing, but extracting that seems implausible.
I don't even know how you would do it.
It seems highly implausible.
I remember some experiment back in the days where I think there might have been a way that they found out how to measure vacuum energy somehow by somehow converting it to a photon or something.
Yeah,
this could be wrong though. I want to preface this as very loose.
There's real physics about that.
Yeah,
like you're able to, generate particles from a vacuum from a couple experiments that I've read. But that was like a long time ago.
Okay.
So, but maybe he's extrapolating that and saying we can create. Yeah. But
whatever he's saying is wrong as fuck.
This is like the but no. If you really want a rigorous treatment of this is sort of like the people that want to make an electromagnetic drive out of. They sort of follow the same logic, I should say, because their argument is that you can pull. Or you can generate thrust in a vacuum, even if there's nothing there, in a way.
But are they using 0 point as well?
In a way, it's sort of analogous because, in a vacuum, there's not supposed to be anything there, right? So what their argument is that you can generate thrust from, I think, ionized particles, I want to say.
Well, that sounds legitimate. Are you saying that it's expelling ionized particles?
I mean, I don't know the theory. Dude, I'm not.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm not an EM drive guy, so I can't tell you.
Well, I actually have EM drive on that list of things.
Okay, let's see it then, man.
But
let's go.
But my knowledge of it is very minimal because I only looked at it around what Nassim was saying. Because in that TED talk, actually, Nassim goes into some more cranky stuff about EM drive.
I figured. See, look at this. You just connect the dots for him.
But it's been debunked. So actually, interestingly enough, yeah.
Just to give him some credit, NASA, according to NASA, right, they published a paper called Anomalous Thrust Production from an Radio Frequency Test Device Measured on a Low Thrust Torsion Pendulum. This was published in July 28th, 2014, technically a mechanical engineering project.
Well, let me also preface again, don't give them too much credit because this only exploded because of some article in some hacky magazine. Maybe not hacky magazine, but they did a poor job of reporting it. So somehow someone believed that this guy made this EM drive. His name is Roger something. I don't know if you have his name there.
Well, all it says here, can I read the abstract a little bit? I'll skim through it.
Yeah.
But maybe this is kind of to summarize a little bit about what you're about to say. This paper describes the 8-day August 2013 test campaign designed to investigate and demonstrate viability of using classical magnetoplasma dynamics to obtain a propulsive momentum transfer via the quantum vacuum virtual plasma.
Okay.
So let me skip around. Approximately 30 to 50 micronewtons of thrust were recorded from an electric propulsion test. Blah, blah, blah. Testing was performed, blah, blah. Okay. Test results indicate that the radio frequency resonant cavity thruster design, which is unique as an electric propulsion device, is producing a force that is not attributable to any classical electromagnetic phenomenon. Therefore, is potentially demonstrating an interaction with the quantum vacuum virtual plasma. So I remember reading about this and then also seeing a conclusion and them saying that, well, actually, it falls within statistical error of it being generated by basically it can fall into statistical error. Like
here's what I found.
30 to 50, I think, what is it? 30 to 50 micronewtons.
Well, I found that a separate group I think a German group tested it again.
They try to so in science, by the way, in science they try to you try to replicate and validate people's claims.
Yeah. But the German group, I think they hit the nail on the head finally, and it was finally agreed upon by most everyone else, is that people were not wrapping the electrical cords properly. So it was just as simple as they didn't wrap the cords in the proper way. So as soon as they wrapped the cords where there was no extraneous fields being generated, the effect was gone.
Okay.
So it was this weird effect that was happening because of the cables or something.
Right. So, but
and actually, even Sean Carroll and John Baez were trying to debunk it for a while, and they did a whole write up on it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it sucks for these people because I mean, you want to be. If this were true, this would be groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. This would be new tech, new physics that we have to develop. We want new physics, man.
Right.
We're looking for that kind of shit.
Right. That would upturn a lot of shit.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like, we need stuff like this to happen.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, when there's a meme of Carl Sagan, that's a cool theory you have there. It'd be a shame if someone tested it. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
so that's kind of the crux of it, right? You just poor Nassim, man. He's got to actually test his experiments.
Well, Nassim is not even close to making experiments. He's all crackpot theory.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not doing any experiments, I don't think.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go on to the next. I think it's good enough with Nassim.
No, let me add something to what Nassim does. People like Nassim, right? They often use arguments of like sacred geometry. I see that a lot.
What is that?
Sacred geometry, where he's talking about Egyptian, some of these like he was
flower of life shit.
Yeah. You got to be careful with that because then that gets into very mystical, sort of mysticism.
He's very mystical. He's a very mystical guy.
So, I mean, not to say that you can't have that you can't be a scientist and be spiritual or whatever. You can do that, but again, when you come to test certain things, sometimes reality can smack you in the face. So, for him to say, just be careful with people that use mysticism and sacred geometry and stuff like this to try to give credence to ideas from the ancients and how they looked at geometry and stuff.
Yeah.
And extrapolate it to a level of mathematics that we understand now. Like, geometry does play a role in our physics, right?
Sure.
That's not to say it's
Big
not.
role.
Like, that's how we come to understand general relativity,
Exactly. It's huge.
It's huge. But a lot of like the symmetry stuff, like that's all cool. We use group theory and stuff. All those arguments are there. But when you talk about sacred geometry, it's a little bit, that's a red flag.
Yeah. My only sacred geometry is Pythagorean theorem.
Yes, that needs to be on a t-shirt.
So anyway, let's continue on.
Okay,
Who else do we got in the crank territory?
Let's see. You got your boy Chris Langan.
Chris Langan.
Smartest man in the world. Is this the guy?
The smartest motherfucker in the world.
Is this the guy with the highest
According to
IQ?
a piece of paper.
Is this the guy with like the highest IQ?
Yeah. This will be the reason why IQ tests are bullshit.
For all you race realists out there. Yeah. This one's for you.
This is why people who are actually doing things at a high intellectual level laugh at people who talk about their IQs.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about Chris Langan.
All right. So Chris Langan is this guy who's a horse rancher, I want to say. And he's basically trying to prove that God exists via his cosmic theory of, can you look it up for me? Theoretic.
The cognitive theoretic model of the universe.
There you go.
A new kind of reality theory.
So he uses all kinds of vocab and words and things he made up to philosophically prove that God exists with multiple pages of jargon and a bunch of words strung together to make it seem like he's proving some big theory of how God exists. You can maybe even pull up his paper. I think I've probably included it on there.
I got it, bro. You're
okay.
Way ahead of you.
Good.
So I'll read a little bit of his abstract here.
Sure.
Inasmuch as science is observational or perceptual in nature, the goal of providing a scientific model and mechanism for the evolution of complex systems ultimately requires a supporting theory of reality of which perception itself is the model, or theory to universe mapping. Where information is the abstract currency of perception, such a theory must incorporate a theory of information while extending information. Okay, by the way, for an abstract...
He's already failing with how long it is.
Bro, this is 2 paragraphs.
But I don't know. It's philosophy, so I don't know what the hell they do.
So yeah, there's a lot of... so he's trying to build...
Maybe go into the meat of what it is. There's some...
Right. So just to highlight a couple words here, he's using cognitive theoretic model of the universe, or he's building a cognitive model or something. CTMU, it's a super tautological reality theoretic extension of logic, uniting the theory of reality with an advanced form of computational language theory. Its reality is a self-configuring, self-processed language, a reflexive, intrinsic language characterized not only by self-reference and recursive self-definition, but full self-configuration and self-execution. Reflexive read-write functionality. So, just kind of gathering a little bit about what he's saying.
There's some good autofellatio right here.
Ooh. Bro, this is some jargon.
Some good mental masturbation right here.
So is he arguing something like... we'd have to get... we maybe, dude, honestly, we could probably get him on the show, man. He's that much.
He's probably not doing anything.
Yeah, he's... So just to kind of give you a rundown of what I think he's saying.
How many pages is that paper?
This paper is, according to the page number, 52 pages. It's probably... Wow. Here it is. It's...
Imagine reading that for 52 pages.
It's basically a thesis.
Yeah.
With 50 sources. But he's trying to... Well, not all of them are sources, actually. Some of them are footnotes. Yes, he's like Terrence is saying, he's setting out to prove that
God exists.
Yeah.
With pure philosophy,
which is nice. You can certainly do that.
I think I'm more partial to the ontological argument or the Epicurean argument for the existence against God, where it can be summed up in one sentence. Go ahead and pull it up. Go ahead and pull up Epicurean existence against God. This is what it should take to prove something, if God exists or not, in a way that's logically consistent. That's not 52 pages long.
If God exists or something.
Yeah, this is the proof against the existence of God.
Oh, okay.
Epicurean.
Yeah. So.
Just go to the wiki. That should be good enough.
Epicureanism. It's
not Epicureanism, the Epicurean proof against the existence of God.
Oh, okay.
Did you pull that up?
Yeah. It's against God, right?
Yeah, there you go.
I got you, bro.
Epicureanism's different. That's like hedonism.
Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you right now, there's no. Oh, is it this one? If God knows about our suffering.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. So this is what your boy Epicurus thought back in 341, 240, 270 BC.
I'm going to slam this on Langan's desk.
So if God knows about our suffering, is all-knowing, cares about our suffering, all-loving, and can do something about our suffering, all-powerful, then there shouldn't be any suffering. So that's your take.
Okay, that's not the greatest way of saying it, but there was a better way that was phrased up. But that's essentially it. So it's basically talking God is omnipotent and he's omniscient. Or what is it called? If God is benevolent. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's things that the Bible claims, right? It claims that God is benevolent God.
Yeah.
It also claims that he is omniscient, so all-seeing, and then it claims he's omnipotent, all-powerful. So God cannot be benevolent if he is omnipotent.
Well, your first assumption about God's gender is wrong. God is agender.
Oh, sorry.
No, God is...
Did I just get canceled?
Wouldn't God necessarily be agendered, though?
Dude, I don't know.
Come on, let's be real, man. Let's go down this rabbit hole. No.
I'm not going to start calling God Zim.
Zod. Yeah.
God is a transgender lesbian.
Yeah. Call him Zod, okay?
Zod. But yeah, so if God is benevolent, he's not omnipotent. Because if he's all powerful, he can stop all the bad in the world.
Yeah.
Then if God is not if God is omniscient, damn, I wish you did a better version.
Honestly, okay. You can. I know enough people that are faith that have faith that I could answer your argument, but I'm not going to.
That could answer this argument?
Yeah, but I'm not going to.
Well, I already know what their classics are going to be. It's just going to be that you're interpreting the Bible too literally or something. Yeah. It's all the bullshitty claims that are always the same.
Okay, this isn't an anti-religion podcast.
This is anti.
Well, we're
Christopher Langan's thesis.
His thesis of CTM.
I'm just saying I can sum up. I can slam Epicurean proof against the existence of God on his desk, and I don't think he's going to have an answer.
So a lot of the time with, just for the record, if you're going to write a sort of thesis like this, you're always supposed to write a opening page of terminology.
Yeah.
So that you can get on the same page that he does. It seems to me like he's arguing a simulative theory, though. Like
does he get into the simulation stuff?
I think just from the language that he's using, theory to universe mapping, something about self-modeling a universe. It sort of seems like he's arguing something that's intrinsically simulated.
I know that in his first videos, he used to talk about binary shit.
Sure, but I mean, there are some people that think our reality is sort of in a way simulated, but
okay.
But I mean, his end argument is that of course is that there's a master creator to the simulation, right?
Okay.
Of course, that's speculation.
That's a step in the direction of you can't prove that. Okay.
Right. It's enough to say that we might live in a simulated in whatever that means, right? Simulated universe.
So you think he's trying to say there's a simulation, therefore there must be a creator of the simulation.
Exactly.
Okay. Big bold claim that doesn't have any kind of connection of a proof.
Okay.
But but of course that's even if you can interpret his paper.
Right.
God bless the poor soul.
I mean, this is just for me
interpret his fucking paper.
That's just for me gathering what in these two when this.
I've never even read a physics paper that convoluted.
Yeah, this is probably harder to understand than some physics paper.
Than even the hardest physics papers I've ever read.
Well, some papers. I mean,
some are pretty bad, but they ain't that bad. That's what is going on?
Anyway, avoid word salading whenever you're writing a paper like this. And, what is it? Christopher, if you were so smart, you would have already formatted this to where people could read this. So
he's got a 200 IQ, bro. I don't know. His IQ is over 9,000.
Yeah. So this guy, if I remember correctly, he's the bar. He's a
horse rancher.
I don't want to fucking shit on this guy, but
I do.
I saw this YouTube video. Of him, and they were talking about his life, and he's a rancher or something.
Yeah.
He used to be a bouncer at a club.
Yeah, bouncer at a club.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember.
I do remember this. It's yeah, man. And then he had this crazy theory about physics and stuff. And there are people like that. There was a kid back in the day,
Jacob Barnett,
the
autistic kid. I like him though because he's a kid.
Yeah. So what separates this young man versus Chris
Langan?
Yes.
So Jacob Barnett is different because he's just a kid. He's older now. I think he's probably finishing his PhD up. I think he's working with Lee Smolin lately. You might want to check that one.
Okay.
I think he's working with Lee Smolin, which is already questionable, on loop quantum gravity, which is kind of the competing, quote unquote, it's not even close to competing, theory with string theory, which is another theory for the universe.
Yeah.
And he's working with him. But the thing is, with Jacob Barnett, he was a kid. He's still a kid. And he's actually still trying to learn. He's not making any claims that he's done this or proven this. I know when he was 6 or 7, he said he was going to prove that Big Bang was false. because it went against Christianity. But now I haven't seen any videos of him lately, so I don't know what his claims or his beliefs are. But I'm sure he's learned a lot since that time when he was a 7-year-old kid, you know, on Bill O'Reilly's show.
Right.
Or whatever the guy was, Glenn Beck, some idiot, one of those dudes.
Yeah, a little bit is he was being exploited in some ways, you think?
I think he was just being people were just trying to, of course, sell this genius kid is so smart. He's smarter than the normal scientists and can prove that the Big Bang didn't happen. You know, it's one of these feel-good Disney type stories, but he actually is a smart kid. He was truly a legitimately above average child.
Oh, yeah, 100%. He was doing, I saw a YouTube video of him trying to learn general relativity by himself.
Right.
Because his parents, I guess they kind of tried to homeschool him, but he was just learning everything on his own.
Yeah. He was really smart. He's a really smart kid.
Respect. Yeah.
I respect him. And he's working with Lee Smolin. Lee Smolin's kind of an out there, different thinker.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Well, I mean, now he's probably 20-something. He's probably already passing his prelims and stuff.
Yeah.
And
he's probably going to finish.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that you pulled up this what is it? His page, Chris Langan's Patreon.
Oh, I don't remember why I pulled it up now.
Why did you have this?
Oh, I think because it's showing how because it's like, look at the prices that he's charging to get access to his stupid ass grand unified theory of bullshit, whatever the fuck it is.
Today we're just shitting on people. We're making enemies out here. Okay, so according Chris Langan's private consulting, $10,000 per month.
The audacity of this fucking guy.
It says pledge $10,000 per month and consult with Chris weekly on the topic of your choice. The man said, "Ask me anything." He's like one of those machines that you put that you fucking ask questions to.
He's Chatterbot. What's the bot?
No, bro, I'm talking about those machines at the state fair where they have a coin.
Oh, like the fortune tellers. He is the smartest man after all, so he's got the answers.
So he's the person with the highest IQ that's taking the test.
I think he is.
Yeah, so but that's saying something, So anyway.
What it says, I'm not sure.
Video conferencing, $1,000 per month. If you pledge this, he will participate in a weekly web conferences. He will participate in a web conference with you and a small group to discuss CTMU related topics. But he said you have to sign an NDA.
Guys, this is serious, okay? This is serious
shit right
man.
Here. I don't want to laugh, but it's just too on the nose. Some of it's just great. Yeah, and I mean, it's respect, man. This guy's making money.
This kind of knowledge could probably change the whole landscape of the universe, really.
Dude, some of these people just are really just making money. Just know how to make money in a niche kind of way.
If anybody by chance listens to this podcast and has ever paid for this kind of, if this can somehow get out, if anybody who has actually paid for Christopher's Langan's services, please contact us or reach out somehow.
We want to interview you.
I would love to talk to you.
Yeah, break your NDA and come and talk to us. Yeah, even the $100 a month one has you sign an NDA.
Wow.
Yeah, the only ones that don't, I think, are the $10 per month and then $1.
Well, Juan, these are nuggets of wisdom. I mean, these are precious gold,
like
my friend.
To God,
Exactly. Yeah. This is the eye of God here.
He's the closest. He's the priesthood class right now. He's the closest we have.
Be thankful.
Respect for him to make him to just make money like this. Man.
Yeah, props to you, Chris.
Anyway, Chris,
you've done it.
Salute. Another person that we're talking about, Terrence Howard.
Okay,
you share his name, sharing his namesake. So why?
I'm glad because he spells is different than mine. He's two R's.
Okay, so tell me why Terrence Howard is as somebody who's a crackpot?
So, those of you who are not familiar with Terrence Howard, he is the ex-War Machine from Iron Man. So he's pre-Don Cheadle.
Oh, he was?
He was. He
Okay.
was. So he got a little uppity and was trying to get too much money.
Hey, he said that.
He's trying to get a little bit more money than the Robert Downey Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, we got to let this guy go. And also he was trying to tell them about his flower of life. But but Terrence Howard basically invented his own mathematics called teriology. So so if you thought Chris Langan had the answers, wait until you see what Terrence Howard has in store. I mean, this guy's next level.
Dude, maybe he busted in the room. He busted in the fucking meeting room for the writers room.
You
It was
think?
like the producers and director, and he's like, guys, I need to tell y'all something. I need a raise. And he's like, he does the math. He's like, this is how much y'all should pay me for this movie because this is how much Robert Downey Jr. is getting paid.
He's doing some teriology
He's doing
on
some
him.
teriology, man. If you multiply this by this, you get this. And then they're like, Terrence, this is not, the math doesn't work. He's like, this is teriology.
He's like, if Pythagoras saw this, he would be flipping his shit.
It's because you don't understand teriology.
But anyway, I thought you were going to say he busted in Chris Langan's meeting and broke the NDA and stole his math.
Oh, that's even better. That's even better. Just worlds collide. Two geniuses meeting together. Yeah.
It's like Einstein and it's like Newton and Leibniz.
Poor Terrence, man. Maybe you need new maths to try to make up for the fact that you have a micro penis.
Is that a rumor?
I don't know,
Okay.
man. That's
You
just
just-
people.
you just started some shit
There's some
down.
people that said that shit. I'm sorry, Terrence. I'm not trying to fucking Mr. Howard. I'm trying to respect you, but I just did it for the
anyway,
joke.
This
Anyway.
kind of has been around now this week. They had him on H3. They talked about it a little bit.
They had Terrence Howard on the show.
Well, they had his one of the YouTube videos I pulled up there.
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
play it. So
Well, you showed me a tweet of his.
yeah,
to kinda give
we'll
you an-
show that after the video though.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
think it's better if we show the video.
Okay.
So cue up that video, Juan.
Yeah,
we
Terrence
got
Howard on
Yeah.
quitting acting.
yeah.
That
Go
one?
ahead and
Okay.
play it.
I've made some discoveries in my own personal life with the science that
By the way,
Pythagoras was searching for. I was able to open
by the way, I guessed his. I'd never really heard his voice, but I totally nailed it.
up the flower of life properly and find the real wave conjugations that we've been looking for 10,000 years. Why would I continue, walking on water for tips when I've got an entire generation to teach a whole new world?
That's a big remark.
It's a good
What do
claim.
you intend to do?
Well, let me put it this way. All energy in the universe is expressed in motion. All motion is expressed in waves. All waves are curved. So where does the straight lines come from to make the platonic solids? There are no straight lines. So when I took the flower of life and opened it properly, I found a whole new wave conjugations that expose the in-between spaces. It's the thing that holds us all together.
This man broke the NDA, Chris Langdon's NDA. Yeah, man.
Beautiful words, Terrence.
Man, that's poetry right there.
It was. It's like an intro physics book collided with an intro geometry book.
It's yeah. I mean, what he's basically talking about there is probably like an intro book to what is it? I have a book here called what is it?
The Platonic solids.
No. It's basically differential calculus. It's calculus.
I don't think he's there yet.
I know, but it's the soul of what he's saying is there.
Oh.
Calculus on curved manifolds.
Well, Terrence is trying to change the fundamentals, bro.
Oh, okay,
He's in Pythagoras territory. He's undoing the foundations of mathematics.
Yeah, he said
okay?
the world is non-Euclidean. So
Exactly.
Get on this train.
He's changing the landscape of basic
Yeah.
mathematics.
unfortunately, my man is 300 years too late. Or no, my bad, 3,000 years too late.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because Pythagoras was alive around 200 BC, 300 BC?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this might have been revolutionary, some revolutionary shit back in the day. But
He said that not in this video, but he said if Pythagoras would have saw this shit, They would have been popping bottles, bro.
He would have. I mean, he already did see this stuff.
No, this teriology.
Oh,
You haven't gotten to teriology yet.
Okay, let
So
me
go ahead and pull up that Twitter. Twitter
some.
has his actual publication of teriology.
All right. Are you ready for this, people? This is the proof, the world of science and mathematics, that 1 times 1 is equal to 2. And he hashtag mathematics, hashtag world of science. And he tagged Rolling Stone in his tweet. And then hashtag proof.
Breaking news.
Yeah, 2017. Unbalanced equation argument. 1 times 1 doesn't equal 1. It equals 2. That's his opening line. I'll read you a little bit of it because I feel like this is good.
Sure.
First and foremost, let us ask the most obvious question. Is this a finished equation? Yes or no? He's talking about 1 times 1 equals 1.
Mm-hmm.
He said, is this a finished equation? Yes or no? He said, the answer is no.
Shit.
Exclamation. Let us start our forensic audit there. Some formatting issues here, but he has a space in between his parentheses. It is an incomplete equation. Why? Dude, the formatting is so off on this fucking thing. Because it's not even on both sides. Yes, nature desires action, but demands equilibrium. Therefore, in order for an equation to be finished/completed, both sides of the equation must be equally balanced. Yet in the case of 1 times 1 equals 1, we have an unfinished equation because we have 2 1s on one side of the equation and 1 1 on the other side.
That's math, bro.
Got him. He said QED.
2 1s can't equal 1 1. What are you gonna do?
Okay, so where's his error, Terrence?
So you should get to the associativity commutativity part.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's redefining the rules.
Yeah.
To do math. Okay. Then all these impossible realities must also be inequalities, must likewise be reconsidered and relabeled as true statements. So A times A must equal A, B times B must equal B, and C times C must equal C. There's no power rules in this teriology. He says, I call on all the elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools. I call all to nursery school teachers and kindergarten teachers. I call upon the schools of higher learning. He misspelled higher, by the way. And all of the thinking branches of academia to do an immediate audit upon this false statement of 1 times 1 equaling 1.
I've never read a research paper like this.
Honestly, I respect.
He's summoning every school institution
call to action.
to reformulate everything.
Please examine your tautologies. Examine
It's
the
some
framework.
green ink right here.
Okay, here we go. This is, if you thought this wasn't like crank enough, he says, some call them the Anunnaki or the sky people. Whomever they were that gave the naive generation some 6,000 years ago a multiplication table and a flat view of universal geometry. They gave the poor misguided people a false axiom upon which to build their world. So yeah, he he kind of goes on more. I mean, dude,
I didn't even read the Anunnaki part, but that's good. That's good shit.
damn, man, I don't even know what to say, man. I love it. I love the creativity, and I think if he actually pursued a PhD in this, he might break some ground.
Don't get false hope, one. Some people just ain't made for it.
Dude, he's got the creativity, I think if he took like even if he got a bachelor's in mathematics, I think he would appreciate math a little more.
Bro,
right.
bachelor's in math ain't easy to get, though.
It's not. It's not. I know it's not.
If you're on teriology plane, you got a lot of undoing to do.
It's cool. I mean, look, there's nothing in math. You're free to do whatever the fuck you want for the most part, right? You can build whatever math you want system as long as there's a logical set of rules.
Right. It has to be logically consistent is the key word.
Yeah. So obviously,
I think if a tip for Terrence, he needs to work on his logic a little bit. If his logic gets hashed out, maybe he can do his teriology.
Yeah. Maybe. Can you imagine somebody doing their PhD thesis on teriology?
Dude, that'd be the greatest.
Oh, hell yeah. That'd be awesome. I want to see that.
That should win an award if that's the case.
Instead of Nobel Prize, it's the Terry Prize. And, damn, man, I love
good
it.
shit, huh?
It's fucking great, man. I really, I don't know what to say. Here we go. He said, why someone found it necessary, quote unquote, to put a cap on that Mesopotamian civilization's potential for advancement, I will not speculate. Perhaps it was best thinking of the time as to where we would have advanced if we had not been misled by this false statement. Again, it is of no benefit to speculate. Nevertheless, we're here and now. We must hit the reset button on mathematics, pretty much, and do a full about face concerning our approach to it. Fuck, man.
1 × 1 = 2.
Okay,
that actually overturns not only fundamental arithmetic, that now affects calculus, linear algebra, anything higher level too.
Yeah. I mean, he would have to make.
Terrence Howard, he's done it.
He'd have to make new calculus for sure because your powers are all gone.
Yeah, everything's messed up.
Yeah. 1 × 16 = 17. So basically, I think his understanding of what multiplication is kind
needs
of
a little work.
Yeah. I don't know if he understands.
And this is not Terrence Howard's a new thing for him. Like, I've known about this for years.
Yeah.
And he's gone on interviews saying he has like 2 master's degrees. He's got a master's degree in physics, he claims.
Yeah.
I think he claimed he had a master's in chemistry. So he's been about this for a long time.
Yeah.
He makes little paper figurines in his spare time that are part of his teriology.
Yeah.
I think he also made a diamond company that was fraudulent too a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he's an interesting character. You could go a lot into Terrence Howard.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's also got a lot of domestic violence claims against him too. Just to throw that out there.
I mean, damn, you got to.
Sorry to make it.
I mean, you got to be
but
crazy to kind of believe. Well, I mean, okay, it's not. Okay, I'm not gonna like shame him or whatever. But 1 × 1 = 1. So I think his misunderstanding is that we're all duped into believing that we somehow don't see the underlying mechanism, like because he clearly sees 1 + 1. You know what I'm saying?
Well, 1 plus times, it's all the same in teriology.
I mean, okay. If it's not immediately obvious to you, because you might say, maybe Terry's on to something, you know? Maybe Terry's on to something. Maybe one time.
Maybe his name is really Terry Tao. And we're all stupid.
It's a deep cut, man. It's a deep cut. Terry, what's his name? What's his name?
Terry Tao?
No, the Tao guy. What's his name?
Terry Tao.
Really?
Yeah.
I
the
thought,
really famous Asian mathematician, Terry Tao.
Oh, Terry Tao.
Terrence Tao. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's maybe the collaboration. Maybe that's where teriology spawned from.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Any more thoughts on that one? We're sitting at 61 minutes here.
I mean, what else is there to say? It's just thank you for bringing me into this world, man. This is awesome. Just 1 × 1, right? So for your kids listening in the car, you know, can you go on this video and comment on it and say, you know, why you think 1 × 1 does not equal 1? We'd appreciate that.
Prove teriology correct. Is that the question we want to give him?
Prove it wrong is what I'm saying.
No, let's give him something better. Let's give him something else. That's more of a meme.
No, but make your counterproof.
Okay, well, that's a meme question, but a real question is, I want to say, do you guys have any other crackpot intellectuals, quote unquote, that you guys find interesting? Leave a comment.
Actually, I feel like maybe we didn't crack pot. I mean, we didn't crack. What's his name? I mean, honestly, we kind of just roasted these guys. It wasn't even. Okay, next time, you know what?
It's hard to disprove some of these guys because, like, Christopher Langan,
some of these stuff,
his thing is so long.
I see what you're saying. Some of the stuff is inherently unfalsifiable.
Yeah. Well, they might be falsifiable, but the amount of effort that you have to be willing to put into it is not any level of effort I'm ever interested in putting into something as dumb on the surface, as clearly dumb on the surface as it is.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, folks.
All right.
We'll leave it at that.
Okay, guys. Leave a comment.
Okay. Thank you for surviving that. Actually, that one, you probably didn't need to survive. That was a cool 60 minutes for me.
It was fun. A little fun.
That one was just, I didn't even, relativity in action, man. I had no idea we had spent an hour laughing.
So yeah, a little meme there for you guys.
Yeah.
Just once again, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give us a like, comment, share the video.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time. Make sure to follow the Twitter at Eigenbros and go to eigenbros.com.
Yeah.
And we'll see you later, guys.
Yeah. Peace.
I don't know what that means, to play us out. What does that mean? To end the show? To end the show? To end the show? To end the show?